Hello and welcome to A Wheel Thing TV. I'm Dave Knoll. In this week's episode we're checking out the 2015-2016, depending on which way you want to look at it, Audi TT Quattro. This is the 2015-2016 Audi TT, just been released to Australia. This is the Quattro, or the all-wheel drive system that we have here for this particular car. And as you can see, the overall design hasn't changed hugely from the original model. It's a course of refinement, and it certainly is a little bit more sharper edge than the slightly rounded version that came out a number of years ago now. Quite frankly, it is one of the most beautiful cars of its kind that you will see on Australian roads, and also with these full LED headlights that it has, really lights up the road and looks just absolutely spectacular. Under the beautifully sculpted bonnet is the 2-litre engine that connects to all four corners of the car. It's 169 kilowatts from 4,500 RPM all the way through to 6,200. 370 newton metres across an immensely usable 1,600 revs to 4,300. As you'd expect, it's a push-button start just down here in the centre console. Goes through the old start-up message. The one thing I absolutely adore about this cabin, and it's so incredibly simple, is just the way that Audi have put the air conditioning controls right in the centre of the main vents coming through into the cabin. Aircon on and off, temperature, auto or manual, and which way do you want the air to blow. Underneath you've got your automatic parking, your sensors, lifting or lowering the rear wing, traction control on or off, pretty simple, and drive select, which if you press that, comes up on the centre dash with your various settings that you can use, and it's operated via the little dials just here on the steering wheel. As you can see, you've got automatic, which basically the car does it all itself, comfort, efficiency, take your pick as to what kind of driving style you want this wonderful, wonderful car to go through. In regards to the actual dash display, the view button, and it will flick through using a few different things on here as well, and the buttons on the steering wheel. Down here you've got the options for your navigation, your radio, all those kind of things, and it actually will bring up on the screen, for example, exactly what you want to see. And again, of course, you can change the actual view should you change or wish to do so. When it gets down to the actual menu side of things, you've got your button down here, and of course Audi's drive select system, which is then operated via the dial, and you can just simply circulate through and then press which one on the top of this that you'd like to access. On the road, it's a very, very taut drive, there's no doubt about that. It's got that variable damper suspension setup where if you go over a bump nice and slow, it'll just gently absorb it. If you go over hard, it's kabang, it'll be like that. It is, of course, a dedicated sports car. Acceleration is ferocious. Audi quote 0 to 100 k's in around 6 seconds, and it's entirely up to you whether, of course, you use that rear wing or not. The way that the car handles is just razor sharp. The actual steering ratio is like, I think, and it reacts. It is that rapid. It's one of the best ratios that you'll probably find. It's around two turns lock to lock, I should say. And the steering wheel itself, just the right size, nicely falls to the hand. And the actual overall ride quality and the acceleration, it is just absolutely superb. But of course, that is what the TT is all about. I'm not the tallest of blokes, I'm about 5'8", and as you can see I've got the seat wound all the way back. I've got the steering column pushed in just a little bit to give me the right sort of angle on the arms, but it certainly makes it very difficult for any of the rear seat passengers that you might want to try and get in there. As you can see, you've got no leg room whatsoever. So if you're a shortish sort of bloke, you might be able to squeeze a person in there. Otherwise, forget about it. As you'd expect from the brand name that you're seeing on screen right now, sound quality is absolutely superb. And a nice little touch from Audi, at night there's a little LED strip that lights up in here, and it looks sensational. Being the kind of bloke that likes to drive a car, this is a driver's car. Even the automatic, which I'm not a fan of in any way, shape or form, and that's the actual transmission. Shut up, Dave. 3, 2. The Audi TT has to be one of the best cars I've driven in the years I've been doing A Wheel Thing reviews. Reason why, of course, is that it's one of the cars that Audi created out of basically nothing, and it really took the world by storm when it was first released, and it's been a process of evolution, refinement all the way through. The handling, the setup, the acceleration, the transmission is just absolutely brilliant. The transmission just slurs its way through the gears, and you hear this little pop this little pff as it overruns, and it's just a sensational sound to hear once it's under harsh acceleration. Normal acceleration, again, is just brilliant. It's just one of the best cars, I think, that I could find to... Shut up. That's just shit. Well, first and foremost, I have to thank Audi Australia for the opportunity to review such a well-sorted, such an overall complete car. The Audi TT, it's just an absolutely brilliant drive. The transmission, the double clutch transmission, just slurs its way through the gears under normal acceleration. Give it a bootful and you can hear the little pop from the exhaust as it goes through. It's very taut, sits flat, and accelerates like nobody's business. It's just absolutely fantastic to drive. The steering ratio makes it a delight, and overall, possibly one of the best cars I think a Wheelthing's ever had the opportunity to drive. For pricing and all the other little bits and pieces you wish to know, head to the Audi website. You can download a brochure and check out the immense range of options that the car has as well. For a Wheelthing TV, I'm Dave Knoll.